An animal-based diet is a way of eating that I think is a very evolutionarily consistent diet for humans. If you think about hunter-gatherer groups around the world, like the Hadza are some of the only remaining hunter-gatherers left on the planet, or the Khoisan in Botswana, South Africa, Namibia. These people seek meat. They eat the whole animal. They seek organs. Hunting is the center of their diet. I visited the Hadza a few years ago in Tanzania and got to see this firsthand. I went hunting with them. They're not after vegetables. They're really like fruit when it's ripe, and they will eat honey, but they're not a big fan of leaves. They're not a big fan of seeds unless they're starving. So think about this, guys. What are the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet that are the lowest in toxins? And what kind of toxins am I thinking about? Not just toxins like pesticides or processed food toxins like seed oils. I'm talking about things like plant defense chemicals from leaves, especially from seeds, which is seeds, nuts, grains, and beans. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But the most nutrient-rich foods are meat and organs. And the least toxic plant foods are the colorful parts that plants want you to eat, the fruit. And we know this very clearly, guys, that there are toxins in unripe fruit. So the idea of eating an unripe banana or an unripe mango makes zero sense. There are things called non-protein amino acids in unripe fruit, which are much higher and lower when these fruit ripen. What's the problem with non-protein amino acids? High level, these are amino acids that mimic amino acids in our bodies, but aren't actually functional. In normal human biology, you have 20 amino acids, 9 of which are essential. But there are hundreds of these non-protein amino acids that occur in the plant kingdom and that are essentially defense chemicals from plants. They can get incorporated into our proteins and cause misfolding, and there's a strong, compelling hypothesis that misfolding may be behind neurodegenerative diseases or contribute. So, high level, unripe fruit, not great. Seeds, which also contain non-protein amino acids, not great. But meat and organs, very nutrient rich. Fruit when it's ripe, great. That's why you crave sweet things. So if you've got a sweet tooth, yeah, it's not great if you're eating candy, but it's okay when you're having that sweet craving to eat things like fruit and honey. That's what your ancestors were eating for hundreds of thousands of years. That's normal. That's what humans are meant to eat, guys. That's what humans thrive on, is meat and organs, fruit, honey, and raw dairy, which I'll talk about as well. So that is a broad overview of an animal-based diet. Let's get into specific pieces of it. So let's start with meat. How much protein do I think you should eat on an animal-based diet? I would say about 1 gram per pound of body weight, or goal body weight. So I'm about 165 pounds. I'll eat around 165 grams of protein per day. I don't need much more than that, and it's pretty easy to get that from a variety of sources. Things like grass-fed ground beef or grass-fed steak. Here I've got a tomahawk ribeye that I grilled. It's going to be easy to get to 160 grams of protein between raw milk and steak in a day. That's your protein. Think about protein first. Getting bioavailable protein from animal foods will help you stay full throughout the day. It'll help you with energy. It'll help you with libido. And meat is an incredible source of many unique micronutrients that are very difficult or impossible to find in plants. But to complement that meat, you need a few things. So you've got your muscle meat. You need 2 things to complement this. You need a bone broth. So this is a homemade bone broth, a good source of glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. These are amino acids that are found in the collagenous tissue of animals. Historically, evolutionarily, your ancestors would have eaten the whole animal. They would have taken those tendons and boiled them. Nothing would have gone to waste. You would get a mix of the amino acids in muscle meat and the amino acids that are more prominent in collagenous tissues. I'm not a big fan of hydrolyzed collagen supplements and powders. A lot of those are from Chile and Argentina, and they're full of significant amounts of heavy metals. They're low quality hoof and hide collagen. I just make my own bone broth. I get knuckle bones or beef bones from the butcher. I put them in a crock pot with some reverse osmosis water. Boom, you get a bone broth with glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, the amino acids that will balance the amino acids found in the steak.